Welcome to the Developing Dads podcast, episode number 73, which still, to this day, surprises me. And when I speak to my friends, got a bit of a story about that actually, but when I speak to my friends, I was like, yeah, we've done it for 73 weeks, which is a long, long time. Anyway, some random news. As everyone's aware, we have 3.5 listeners per episode. Not really, up to maybe about 30, hopefully. But anyway, our Instagram following is about 80, 85. And a colleague of mine messaged me earlier and just said that one of his friends follows us and I have no idea who he is. So it's a small world, but it's exciting nonetheless. So I've asked him how he's going to ask his friend how he found out about us. So anyway, shout out to somebody who knows Proteus, the company I work for. Anyway, I missed a week, which feels nice, but feels a bit weird. At the same time, Gordon has somebody else chatting, which I'm a bit jealous, but it was a good podcast, all about how to keep fit as a dad, juggling time, wife, job, all that good stuff. It was actually a good listen. I enjoyed it.
Which you did do very well. Which you did do very well last week, did you, Neil? Juggling life and wife and kids.
Yeah.
When you just bailed on me last minute. Can't believe it. I'm so disappointed. I still haven't forgotten about it.
We can go into it in the pod in terms of starting our usual. But this episode, we're going to just have random dad chat. We've updated our Apple Notes. My first time for a while, but we've both got a few things to talk about. Mine's more dad related than Gordon's, but we can delve into it. Anyway, Mr.
Sometimes Neil, I don't want to feel like a dad. I just want to talk about myself, right? Because when I was out for dinner with the Baby and Bump crew, which is kind of the people that you meet, during your journey of going on how to become a parent thing, and all we talked about was the kids.
Lovely.
And I'm just like, I got talents in other areas, not in making and rearing babies. I can I don't know, make YouTube videos. How about we talk about that?
I'm a creative.
Exactly.
Creative things. Yeah, I know what you mean. But anyway, Mr. Senior Greenhorn, how you doing? How's the last week been? Give me some highlights.
It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since we've spoken it.
Yeah, but I got your debrief with, can't remember his name now. Episode number 72.
Adam. His name is Adam, Neil. Come on. Yeah, it's been fine. Like, I guess there's some kind of like running into this month of May. There's a bit of kind of like, I've had a couple of retainers. I had a retainer finish, which is quite big, so income is kind of not halved, but it's certainly gone down about 25-30%, which is, it doesn't feel nice. So I guess this month is kind of some levels of trepidation, but then a bit of clarity as well on a bit like, well, the businessy agency thing that I'm trying to build is working and it's picking up clients, and I picked up some more last month, and it's, it's profitable, which is nice. And I have 2 people working for me now, which is nice. So that's been a good part of it from a business perspective, I guess. I'm trying to build an actual business where people work for me rather than just being self-employed, I guess. And relationship status is good. Not getting into details, but we had a lovely therapy session yesterday, which was good. I think that's been a large factor of that's actually been some time together, which has been really good. Like, you kind of forget about your relationship, because you kind of like cruise through that honeymoon period, which I often thought was kind of a short time, but it's actually really long until you actually get married and have kids and take on adult responsibility like mortgages and shit.
Yeah.
And you just kind of forget about your relationship, right? It just kind of, to be honest, it goes out the window. And I think women, again, I am happy to change my opinion. So if anyone has a contrary view to it, I'm happy to discuss it. It's just a thought. It's a meandering thing out there. But I think that change in relationship, perhaps women cope with better than men, because they've formed like the ultimate relationship, right?
Yeah. They've
had a baby, which is just unbelievable. Like, they've done all of that, and it's incredible. It's an unbelievable thing. But I'm not sure I cope with it very well, and I'm not sure how other men cope with it. But you just kind of, it's like you lose a relationship for a little while, and then it just kind of slightly continues at times because work kicks in, right, and just more stuff. And I'm sure, Neil, you can probably have an add-on on that with more kids. So, yeah, it's been really nice. We've been hanging out a bit more, having lunch together, because Laura's been at home working, I've been at home working, so we kind of connect a little bit for half an hour a day at least, and just kind of just chat shit.
Nice.
And that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to going through seasons of, just coasting through life and not really giving each other the attention you need and all that good stuff. And normally, we're now quite good at realising, like, look, it's been a while. Let's schedule some time. Let's do something together.
Yeah, it is kind of, it sounds really wank, but it's actually true.
Yeah,
it is. Let's spend time together, because you just take it for granted. Like, you take a whole bunch of shit for granted, don't you? When you're unencumbered, you don't have any kids or responsibilities. You're just renting. You know, you've got a job that you think's all right. You're earning all right money, and your overheads are just pretty low. And I think you just take it for granted a little bit, to be honest. I don't think. I guess for granted, it's only in hindsight. But yeah, if you're listening to this, and you're not a dad, but you're thinking about becoming a dad, like, maximize the time together, for God's sake. It's,
even the little things like having
together.
breakfast together, or like having a coffee together, just in the house. It's just that goes out the window when you've got kids.
Nah, mate, it's not happening. It's just not happening, is it? Because it's like me and Laurel have that. We will, we're trying to talk about something, and Olivia's got up from her nap, and you're kind of in the middle of talking about something. It's not like serious, but it's just a thing you're talking about, and then you're trying to talk about it, but then Olivia's going, boat, oh, airplane, ah. And you're like, it's not a conversation anymore, is it?
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
So that's been good. Relationship from me good. Business is kind of trepidation and interesting and exciting and whatever else. And personal, I can't really think of anything I've been up to be honest. Yes, I did actually, and this is one of the random dad chat things perhaps we can get into. But I have tried to get rid of my phone at bedtime. So not for some Huberman bullshit, blue light blocking, fucking light eyeball gouging, erection pumping, whatever, right? It's just because I don't need to go through my phone before I go to sleep. Like, literally just before I go to sleep. I don't need to do that. Like, why do I need to do that? I can say goodnight to my wife, or I can have a little chat with her. And especially when I wake up in the morning, like, why do I need my phone as an alarm? I don't. Right? I don't need to know Steve, who I went to school with 16 years ago, and what he's up to today.
Checked in at a pub at 3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't need to see Instagram first thing I wake up to. Don't need it. I don't.
I've been doing that for a few months now. The phone goes actually off and goes downstairs. Turn it off downstairs.
I'm not sure how I feel about off, because there's something I do set is I have like a focus sections, and I put one of them to sleep mode, and there's only 2 people that can notify me when I'm sleeping. One is Laura, but she's sleeping next to me, so that's all right. And the other one's you, in fact.
Yeah, I've got that set up, but obviously if it's off,
yeah, so I still have that, but then if Laura's sleeping next to me, I'll still obviously have it. But in theory, you can still contact me just in case something happens. But I bought an alarm clock for 18 quid off of Amazon.
Nice.
So it tells me the time, and it's got an alarm on it. That's it. That's all I need. Because I'd also find it like Olivia would come in, she'd start playing, and then for some weird reason I've got my phone out. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And so I got rid of it. So I feel that's pretty good on the personal front. And I also found some very comfortable trousers from Lululemon. I have to admit, very tech bro as well, Neil. You'll like them. They're like utility chinos.
Wow. So
very good.
You can go to the gym in them, but then you can also go to a nice dinner.
Nah, I don't go to the gym. These are not gym trousers.
Oh.
These are, they're just very comfortable. Like the most comfortable trousers I've ever worn. So maybe I'll wear them one day when we see each other in person. But that's kind of it, really. That's, relationship's nice. Business is going all right. A few things, trying to work on them. And then, bought an alarm clock from Amazon for £18.
Wow.
Incredible news.
Living the dream.
Absolute. And I got my headphones fixed. They're back.
I noticed that.
And consumer law, apparently. They basically just, the only thing they didn't replace, Neil, were the cups, right, for the ears and the hinges. They replaced both entire units.
Wow.
So I was like, why don't you just send me some new ones?
Yeah, or take them off the shelf and give them to me.
No, it'd be some bollocks about like global warming or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you? What are you saying? I've been talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, on a high, and I always get these kind of highs when I've been socialising lots and kind of going out my comfort zone and stuff. But yeah, the reason I couldn't make podcast last week was because I think it was Thursday evening. We scheduled it. We were flying Friday morning. I was at Brownies late, and we had loads of packing to do, like organising 3 kids to go to the grandparents and like what they need: bed guards, inhalers, Calpol just in case, toothbrush, like it's just an endless list of stuff to take: scooters, bikes, helmets. Anyway, so I was stuck in that kind of like just trying to sort out life. And then we flew Friday morning, Rebecca and I and Craig and his wife down to London to a wedding, which is just fantastic. Like I only knew Craig and Lindsay. Craig and Lindsay. Lindsay was the one who was getting married at the wedding, and there was like 120 guests. So I was a bit nervous in terms of that whole social aspect, but it's such a wholesome, good day, great band.
These situations, right? Have you got any numbers to be busy mates with anyone outside of Craig and Lindsay that you went to the wedding with?
I've connected with 2 people on LinkedIn.
Right, so it's a business venture. But this is the thing, right? I don't know. There was a thing. One of your best mate, Ryan Holiday, was talking about this, right? Was talking about basically you become an adult when you have a kid, and you realise that having an argument with someone about anything is a use of energy that's just completely ridiculous, right? So, because you got kid stuff, right? The energy you hoping you will apply yourself to is your kid first, then it'll be like your wife or partner, and then it'll be maybe like family members or friends or just that close, basically close network. Outside of that, you've got friggin' not much left, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So the argument thing made quite interesting. So I'm fascinated about your experience at any wedding, not just this one. Let's not use that specific, but I don't know how. I haven't been to a wedding since becoming a dad, I don't think. So I'm not entirely sure how much energy I have for. So what do you do? Where are you from? What are you up to? Like, I've got enough friends.
Yeah,
Or
like
maybe I'm just a Grinch.
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. There's not much small chat. It was just like it's like the
What was the big chat then? Would you go straight into like the philosophy of the universe?
It's the standard stuff like how do you know the bride? I'm like, oh, you guys work together, or blah blah blah. And yeah, like, and the band just got everyone going, and like Rebecca and I didn't sit down for 30 songs. Like, we were just partying,
Right.
having a great time. There's no awkward chat. Like, there was just, I don't know, everything just kind of flowed well. I think the table ordering was nice. Speeches were good fun, kind of relatable. Yeah, like all similar ages, lots of alcohol.
So what you're telling me, I think what you're telling me here is, to summarise your thoughts and feelings perhaps, is that shut up, Gordon, you should just go with the flow and have a good night.
Yeah, but like, don't get me wrong, I was nervous, even like flying down, not really knowing anyone. How's the night? Like, Rebecca didn't know a soul. How's it going to go? With lots of logistics, renting a car, driving everywhere, and all that stuff. But yeah, just from start to finish, from the Friday we went into the lounge, got beers, to Sunday missing our flight at Luton Airport, and getting.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I was going to get onto that. So yeah, had this great wedding. Very, very hungover on Sunday, and went to like a debrief kind of roast dinner pub thing place. Afterwards, got to the airport in plenty of time. Checked in our baggage because we had hold baggage.
Hold on. You missed the flight, but you're actually in the airport.
Yeah, it gets better.
This is great. Now, for anyone, for the 2.5 listeners that got to this point, this is a cracking section of the podcast. I can't wait for this. I'm excited. Ready? Go, Neil. I'm excited.
So we got into the lounge at Luton, and we didn't have any alcohol because we were both hungover, but I had food. I had a wee nap, and the flight was taking off at 20 to 4, so it's our key time, 20 to 4. And we were like, oh, we'll get to the gate at like 10 past 3, thinking that's going to be absolutely fine. So we left the lounge. Obviously, in the lounge, you don't get any kind of call out.
Half an hour before taking off.
Yeah. Anyway.
You've never been on a plane before, have you, Neil?
So we left at 3, and then it took us 10 minutes to get to the gate, so it would have been half an hour before takeoff. We thought that'd be absolutely fine. Anyway, in the lounge, you don't get the kind of usual tannoy call-outs. Mr. and Mrs. Greenhorn, come to the gate. So anyway, we were kind of walking to the gate. It was really quiet. There was no one for ages. This is weird. It was EasyJet we're flying with. And so got there at 10 past, and the guy turned around and says, "Oh, the gate closed at 3. I was like, but the other side of the gate, people are still queuing to get onto the plane. So like there's still a massive queue. Like nobody was actually getting on. It was like that buffer bit. And I was like, oh, sorry, like, yeah, can we just get on? I was like, oh no, your bag's been offloaded. It's like, what? Like I can still see people, like nobody's on the aircraft. Nobody's actually left the airport to get on the plane. Can you not just let us through? And he was like, no, the bag's being offloaded and you've got to go back through to arrivals to get your bag. And he was just being a power hungry twat. Like I argued with him. I was like, I can see everyone, they're not on the plane yet. You can just like scan my passport and boarding pass and call the guy and say put the bag back on. He wasn't having any of it. He was this young like 20-year-old EasyJet guy. He was like, no, gate closed at 3. That's it. So we had to find our bag, and thankfully I managed to get a flight a couple hours later. Not that expensive because it's EasyJet again from Luton, which is pennies. So I don't know, down about 80 quid. But it's just a power hungry twat.
Nice. So the lesson you've learned is actually turn up to the gate on time.
What's on time?
It tells you the ticket, Neil.
Yeah, gate closes at 3 and nobody was boarding.
But it tells you the ticket. It says on the ticket, and gate closes at 3 and you arrived at 10 past 3. So he was well within his rights.
Listen to
this
tell
though.
You
to piss off.
So gate closes at 6:30 from our next flight, right? So we get there at like 6:45 because we're getting on the plane. We don't start boarding until 7. They don't start getting through the gate until 7.
It's great, Neil.
So,
but we're 10 minutes late.
Anyway, we went back to the lounge and just enjoyed more time. Like I was in that Mo Gaudet moment of like, I don't care. There's no point of huffing and puffing about this. We just got more time together. Grandparents put the kids to bed. Easy.
Should miss it again. Those 2 hours are bliss, Neil. Let's be honest. Like you've made the 80 quid back in those 2 hours. No bother.
Yeah. And Monday it was just a chilled. I had the kids, and this is kind of goes on to the random dad chat. It's like Rebecca was working, and I had 3 children to deal with, and I don't know why, but they're all in like the twins are 4.5 now, and almost 5. They're just in such a power hungry mood of like everything they want to do needs to be their way, and then Isla gets involved, and then it's just me with 3 kids that are arguing about how many flipping peanuts they've got to feed the squirrels. So yeah, it's that was a challenging day, and you just feel fried after it. And then Rebecca comes home from work and she's fried. It's just like, go to bed, get to sleep. So yeah, like you got all that to look forward to when they get to like 4.5, 5-ish.
Nah, mate, my kids are going to be incredible. Ain't none of them arguing over how many peanuts I've got. I'll tell you right now.
Just that power hungry of like, I know I'm right, and this is the way or nothing. And they go through, and this is not just my boys, other kids are at nursery are doing this, and friends of friends are doing this with it. The kids they just like hold up their hand as if they're going to hit, because they know they never hit, but they're just like, I'm angry, I'm going to hold up my hand and kind of threaten. And yeah, it's just trying to.
So what is that like? There's a. It was quite interesting actually. We were talking about this yesterday to some extent. It's just how a man's utility is not just in his power or strength.
Oh, absolutely.
It's also and it's also, but it's not just in. That's not what a man is just about. Like your ability to do something that just being strong and powerful isn't necessarily the thing. And I resemble power towards being able to move objects, not necessarily some patriarchal running all 550s, whatever, S&P 500, blah, blah, blah. And I was talking about the idea that, as a man, you can also be emotional and you can be kind and caring and loving, just like any mother, right? But in that situation, you are larger, you are stronger than Rebecca, I'd hope. I mean, some black eyes that I've seen you come home with, I'm not so sure about. That's a joke, by the way.
I don't think I've ever had a black eye.
Yeah, you're able to command that, right? You can be physical with them if you have to be. So it's like, do you find there's a line there? Do you then basically just start to then show them who is boss to some extent? Or do you hold back and kind of, talk to them and tell them what's wrong and what's right? Or do you basically just lay the law down?
How do I? So I definitely, and I reread, so I've listened to it twice, and I've kind of read the cheat sheets you get of Unconditional Parenting by Alfie Kohn. And I actually found myself last night rereading it and sending to Rebecca to reread some of the bits, because he brings up so many good points in terms of unconditional parenting, in terms of what works, what doesn't, and all that. But my general take, and this is what Alfie tries to distill in his book, is trying to get that person out of the situation, or that child out. So like Ben and Lewis, they were very emotional, and I find if you can change the subject, or change the situation they're in, or change the room they're in, or just change the scenery or something to snap them out of being focused on, I always got more peanuts than me, or I want to go and get an ice cream and you're not letting me. Like, just do something random, use your imagination. Like a real life example last night was, he was refusing to eat his dinner, point blank refusing, and he was like, I'm going to throw my dinner. And I just lifted him up, took him through to the living room, and was like, Lewis, you're really good at counting, aren't you? And he was like, yeah. And this was when he was in a fit of rage. And I was like, how many fingers am I holding up? And then I held up 2, and he was like, 2. Right? And I was like, see how fast you can do this one. Held up 5 fingers, and he said 5. I'm like, that, it was just like a switch. And I was like, can we count how many bits of food are on your plate and how many you can eat? And he just went right through to the dinner table, counted, and started counting how many he was eating. And it's just like, I could have easily shown my power and raised my voice and really commanded him to eat his dinner, sit down at the table, eat a dinner. But that would have just got him emotional, got him even more angry, tears. Ben and Isla would have been upset. But taking him out of the situation for 5 minutes, distracting him with counting numbers, just massively helped. So
you're just about to get your own TV show, Neil.
I've just lived through, so like, I've got 3 kids, mate. I've just experienced so much SHIT that
Could you imagine? The episode on Friends where Rachel and Ross hire a male nanny.
I've seen all the Friends, but
okay, so there is one, and Ross is kind of taken aback. There's a male nanny, and they hire the male nanny. Like that, you could have a program about that, Neil. You're on TV right now. I feel like you're going to change the nanny profession and basically just get a bunch of men and have a 50-50 equal opportunities thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I was taught by good old Alfie Kohn. Like, I hands down recommend that book.
Very good.
Changing the subject, imagination, and then after the fact, so like after dinner, we were out in the garden playing. I took Lewis aside and said, "Look, we don't really want you to do that at dinner anymore. Like, you shouldn't be shouting and saying you're going to throw your food. This is why, blah 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 blah." But I mean, that's taking me.
And he was there taking notes, right? He was right there, writing down exactly what Daddy's saying, and then in his personal development log, just to make sure that he abides by the rules in future.
Yeah, exactly, Gordon.
Because there's kind of like, there's a certain, here's another scenario I guess we could take, which is not so much you being physical, but the act of physicality essentially helps. It may help in some respects, but your kids are getting bullied at school, right? And you do the talking bit. Okay, so your kid's like, goes to the teacher, tells the teacher, mums and dads get involved, and they try and talk to each other. What if that kid keeps bullying your kid?
So
would you say punch him in the face?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So if
Lewis hadn't calmed down, and he did act in a violent manner, then what would you have done?
I would have grabbed him, taken him upstairs, put him in his bedroom, and let him calm down himself.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, like there's definitely a point where it just gets too far, and yeah, shit gets heated, and that's just.
And how does Rebecca react to that? Like, does she go down? Does she like back you in terms of the choice that you've made, or does she back the kid?
Whoa, this is very what's the word? On topic, because like we went through everything last night that like we're both very bad at, and both came to realise that we tell our own opinions of how you're parenting in front of the kids in the heated moment, which is a big no-no. Gordon's face on YouTube if you're watching. And like we've had this chat before, but in the moment it's very hard if you think the parent is having a different style to you or causing emotional harm to your child, then like I guess the father in me is like, no, you need to stop, go and take a walk, I'll deal with this. I could have said it nicer than that, but I didn't. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so different parenting. Definitely in the moment, we're bad for judging each other and criticising each other. I wouldn't say we do it all the time, but last night came to kind of a head. So we decided at the end of the night when the kids were sleeping, we spent half an hour, 40 minutes talking about it, digesting what Alfie says, and like, yeah, it's just, I guess, the different parenting styles. I think there's recommendations to have different parenting styles, because having the same one, I think, just is very robotic and I think there needs to be two different styles for kids to kind of bounce off and realise that there's different ways of emotion, different ways of kind of assertiveness and all that kind of stuff. So we have different parenting styles, but there's definitely things that we draw the line at, and we need to get better at, I think.
Because that's something me and Laura have talked about quite at length actually, and agree largely on, is that we very much will back each other, even if it's regardless of what our opinion is, especially in that moment of, maybe it's discipline, maybe it's, yes, no's, maybes for whatever activities or things or whatever else. Then we've been very strong on whether that comes to fruition or not. I don't know. We're starting to get into the toddler years and the teenager years, so she's starting to become that powerful character of deciding what she wants and when she wants it. So we have discussed that already. Like prior to it, is like, even if you don't agree with them in the moment, go with what they're doing. Like if they've led the conversation and started the thing, then walk with them. And then afterwards, when it's just the two of you, have a conversation about it and be like, hey, you probably could have done this a little bit better, or maybe think about this another way. I'd probably do it a different way. But at the end of the day, I feel quite strongly that the approach that we're hoping to take is one in which whoever started the lead on this thing, whatever we're doing, then we're not going to disagree with each other in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And even things like, so real life example, I don't know if Rebecca won't mind us, but so Rebecca was putting the kids to bed, all three kids were acting up, not getting their teeth cleared, like just causing chaos. Rebecca was getting really frustrated and angry. So I came upstairs thinking I was doing a favour and I was like, I'll put the kids to bed. My tone and my way I said it wasn't that pleasant. What I could have done was like, right, Rebecca, can you come down? We'll chat for 5 minutes. Do you want me to put the kids to bed? You're clearly kind of having a moment, and to do a bit nicer than just like storming upstairs saying, I'll put the kids to bed. So yeah, I guess taking each other out of the situation, leave the kids upstairs, being a bit more pleasant with it and being a bit more genuine with it instead of. So anyway, yeah, that's all my.
We usually message each other, so it's like a text message.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, I tend to find that helps a little bit more, because it could be like, Laura will be like, is everything okay? And I'll be like, it's fine. And then she just leaves me alone, even if Olivia's screaming because she doesn't want to sit down in the bath at the moment. Have you had that?
Yeah.
How long did that last?
It varies, mate. We're finally, after 8 years of Isla hating showers, she now just runs into the shower and has a shower now instead of baths. But yeah, they just go through random stages of like, I'm not eating my dinner, or I hate broccoli. Well, you've been eating broccoli for the last 5 years, Lewis.
Well, Olivia hasn't sat down in the bath for about 6 months. She stands the whole time, and Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it. But anyway, she'll, some nights she'll scream the house down, like stood in the bath, absolutely scream down, and you can do the distracting thing every so often. She'll stop crying and start playing with the ball, and then she'll just realise she's in the bath and she's standing and she's screaming again. So then we'd use the text message thing where, Laura, but everything okay? Do you want me to take over? So I think we're kind of working that out. But yeah, the back-end thing has probably been something we've generally quite strongly been kind of of the opinion that whatever we do is always have each other's back in front of the kids.
Yeah. I agree.
On another more cheery note, I'm quite enjoying spring. Are you how do you feel about it? Because it's still it's not even, the sun's not quite set yet. It's just coming to the end of the golden hour, and I don't know about you, but it changes the way I feel about everything. I just feel like it just feels better. I don't we don't have very good blinds in the bedroom, which is kind of bad. And I try to wear an eye mask, but I don't know. I don't like stuff sitting on my face. I don't know about you.
Gordon, you spent how much on a bloody driveway and you don't have blackout curtains or blinds?
I've still got no money left, Neil, because I have spent all that money on the driveway. Okay? So you start lecturing me about money. I've got none. So we can do better curtains. But it just feels so good, I think, it's not dark at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I can go out because I tend to find my dip in the days between 2 and 4 o'clock-ish. And if I go for a walk, I put some podcast in, I feel a bit more energized when I come back and I start doing more work again. When it's wintertime, it's raining, it's pissing down.
It's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. And as well now, our space, for those 2.5 listeners that got to this point, the space is kind of it's all open up now. And we can open up the bifold doors. It feels amazing. It feels so good.
Yeah, no, I can imagine, that kind of garden to kitchen opening up is nice. But I feel the same about spring. It means that the kids now eat their dinner faster when they want to eat their dinner, and they get to go to the park. So we have dinner about 5:30 now, and then they go to the park between 5:45 and 6:45, which is just a really nice, they see their friends sometimes there, they go on their bikes, they go on their scooters, and that's not possible in winter. You just can't go out in the pouring rain or the pitch black. There's no streetlights in the park. So yeah, we definitely love this time of year. It gets everyone out of the house more.
There's actually something I remembered. Do you remember your commitment? The last one-to-one podcast we did.
Ultramarathon, maybe.
It could have been that. Yes, it could have been that. Neil, could have been. So, which one have you signed up for, and what date is it?
There's been no sign up.
That's disgusting. I think you got to sign up for 2 now. Why have you not signed up for a podcast, Neil? Sign up for an ultramarathon, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was actually, we'll go down this story. I don't know if you listened to the podcast. Anyway, I was on a mountain bike ride with a friend, and it's a really nice loop round a loch, and there's a beautiful coffee shop with amazing cake, and it's about a 15-mile loop, and really nice trails. Anyway, we finished the loop, and we got chatting, and the kind of focus was why do we exercise? What is fitness? And I got to
are you talking? Are you about to talk some bollocks?
Yeah.
About I'm just doing it for health because I want to live longer and have my kids and stuff. Now, mate, you said on the podcast that you would sign up to an ultramarathon the next time we have a conversation. And have you done it?
No.
Have you done it? No. And I don't want some bollocks about me being healthy or whatever horse shit. Right? I want to hear you say, I've signed up to an ultramarathon. It's this date. I'll see you there.
My goals change, Gordon.
I don't care about you. No, your goals haven't changed. You've been bleating on about an ultramarathon for the best part of about 5 years.
3 years.
I saw Johnny Jacobs. All right, I saw Johnny Jacobs at the weekend. Had a couple of beers, and he was like, "Has Neil done his ultramarathon yet? He needs to bloody do it." Where are we at, Neil? We're nowhere further down that road, are we?
No, we're not.
Are we?
No, we're not.
No. So what are you going to do?
Lifestyle fitness.
Yeah, fuck your lifestyle fitness. Do your ultramarathon. I reckon. Of the people that listen to this podcast, I reckon if we get every single one, they'll donate, and I'll just sign you up. All right.
And
so, if we say what month would be your best month to do it in, September?
October, November time.
Right, cool. So if anybody's listening to this podcast who would like to donate to Neil's ultra marathon running fund, okay, I'll set it up and then we'll get Neil done. What? How much is an ultra marathon? 100 quid?
Yeah, 80, 70, 80, 100.
I'll fucking pay for it now if you want. Which one are we doing? October ultra marathons. October ultra marathons UK. There we go. Right,
No,
here we go.
I'm not
I'm
traveling
on the
far.
internet right now. Oh, you got South Downs. That's near me. You can stay with me. Save you some. You got London Epic Forest Ultra, 25 miles. You've got Dorset. You got a Tri-X one, Jurassic Coast. That'd be really nice. And these are £25, Neil. What are you talking about?
It won't be for that'll be for the 5K part of the ultra.
Neil. Okay, right. Maverick, Adidas, Ultra X Series Jurassic Coast. Very nice looking. Right? Looks great. 20k, 48k, 56k ATM. Okay. Let me see this. 56k, £75. Should we sign you up for that one?
No.
Why? 14th of October.
We change the subject.
Right. Just so anyone's interested, if you want to donate to Neil's fund to do the ultra marathon in October, then just please drop us a DM on Instagram and Developing Dads, or Greenhorn Creative. Drop me a DM if you want to donate a tenner to Neil's ultra marathon thing. That'll be fantastic. If you want to donate more and we'll do it to charity, Neil's chosen charity, then fantastic. Okay.
Next, how's your gym going, Gordon? Have you been more than once this month or once last month?
No, I'm fat and happy, Neil. I'm living my life obese and going to die of a heart disease. That's what I'm going to do.
Dad bod. Your
I'm
fancy
going to die.
Lululemon Cheetos.
I'm probably going to die from you punching me in the face repeatedly after harassing you for the next 5 years for not doing an ultra marathon.
I'm going to do one. I'm just not committing yet.
Great, fantastic, right? So all your bollocks about I was up this mountain. I was cycling towards a wee bothy that had some nice coffee and a wee cake, and I was thinking to myself, this is the life. This is how I want to live. I just want to be happy. I don't want to do an ultra marathon. I just want to be happy. Shocking. But I know the gym, I keep trying to restart and doing stuff, but I don't know. Just, it's not the same for me anymore, Neil.
It's life gets in the way.
I'm not even suggesting I'm committing to anything. Like, I'm not even committing to powerlifting, bodybuilding, running, marathon running. I've got no goals whatsoever. But I'd like to get doing something about it, but I'm not. Like, it's more. So what I have been doing, and this is going to probably play part of getting to the gym, is I've been playing around with time blocking in my calendar. Do you do that? Not do that? Do you like doing it? What's your kind of time management strategy from a calendar perspective?
Yeah, so my calendar's a bit of a weird one. Well, colleagues can obviously book meetings in my diary, but so can like prospective customers, so they can get my link, and if they want a demo of our tools and product, then they can just book a random time, and I've just got to accept it. So I definitely time box. Like if I'm doing internal stuff, or if I'm out of office, or if I'm going for a run, I'll book it in my Outlook calendar, and it'll be grayed out for anybody trying to book time.
Yeah, so I basically kind of like set up my calendar where I'll just block times of like that I'm going to do these tasks, and it's generally helped quite a lot from my own like time management, task management perspective. I quite enjoy it because it kind of automatically does that for me on my production pipeline management software thing that I use, and yeah, I just feel like I find that's helpful. So I think that's a route towards getting back into the gym of some kind, is that I just commit to doing it at certain times. Because I think one of the problems that I've faced is the idea that one of us gets Olivia in the morning and organizes her for things. And there's only really 2 mornings a week where she's not needing tended to. The rest of the time, like the other 5 days a week, she's always needs to be attended to. So it's like, I say to Laura, hey, I'm going to go to the gym and you're going to do it. It doesn't work so well, right?
Yeah.
So I think the time blocking is helpful, and it just gives me a little bit of a thing. I set up my calendar properly. I've got like a work schedule calendar now where I put everything in and manage it all. So I think that's going to be better because it extends to other stuff in my life, Neil. Like, I tend to just look at the task that I need to do now, which is like 2 or 3 different tasks, which will be have the editors all sort of set up in terms of what they're doing, respond to any prospects or current clients, and then it will be any editing tasks that I'm required to do. But I have a huge amount of other things I need to be doing, like writing content for my own stuff, to filming that stuff, to going to the gym, to cleaning the house and painting shit and building stuff, to like, it's just never ending, right? So if I time block it, then at least I'm doing something, like I'm holding myself accountable to some extent, where I'm not like, I've got 15 minutes, I can just do nothing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And even like, I struggled when we first had Isla. I used to love going to the gym early in the morning. That was kind of my time. And running early in the morning is still when I want to do it. And you're kind of forced sometimes through kids to do it at lunchtime or do it at night. I really struggle with motivation. And it's hard to try and get out of that. If you haven't done it in the morning, then you've got to like try and get stuff on at lunchtime. I just can't be arsed with that. So yeah, I feel your pain when it comes to the whole morning thing, because kids gotta get seen. Yeah,
it's I also don't really know what kind of thing you can offer the world, or you can offer like as a service to help parents like exercise.
Yeah.
You know, because it's for Laura, it's kind of good because she has a personal trainer, essentially has a small group personal trainer thing that she does, which is good for accountability. Because even tonight, where she was like, "Oh, I don't really want to do it," but she's got class booked in. She's going to go and do it, and it's fantastic. I think it's great what she's doing. I did actually think of something. Maybe we could do it together. I didn't think of you, maybe, but you gotta get a bit stronger. You can't just run all the time, Neil. Have you heard something called High Rocks?
Yeah.
Oh, don't give me that. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
okay,
it's very in just now.
Okay.
You want to partner up?
Yeah, we could do a dual male one.
Yeah.
Like we did. Remember we did the Men's Health Survival of the Fittest one like 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
We do High Rocks.
Weirdly, I was actually looking at my gym membership perks with my private healthcare at work, and I get Pure Gym for £12 a month.
Do it. Because all the time you're going to get back with the kids going to school.
I know.
Right? You get a buff.
10 weeks. They're in school.
He's got his calendar every morning. He looks like, I've got 10 weeks and 3 days. Oh my God. But we could do that. Why don't we do like a High Rocks? That'd be quite fun. Then we can train together to go towards it. When is the next High Rocks? Because they do ones up north as well. High Rocks. We need that. You know the guy that does Joe Rogan's research in the background? we should get one of those.
He just pulls it up on the screen in front of Joe Rogan and they start doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that'd be quite fun, wouldn't it? Countries. Oh, you got to look at countries. Oh my God. How big is it? It's pretty simple. Like, they must make an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
Like, I think they had 3,000 people doing it at the weekend when I was filming. And it's 120 quid.
Who are you filming for?
A team doing it. So, find my race. Got Hong Kong. Hong Kong, Hanover, Rotterdam. Got Manchester. It's for the World Championships. Don't think we made that, Neil. Melbourne. Wow, they've got them all over the world. But they've got another one in November. London. 25th, 26th.
Got nothing on.
Register now. It is doubles £105.
Not per person, surely.
Total, I think,
okay.
for deals.
That must be total.
It's price per person.
What?
Yeah. 210 quid for us to run around the park. Service fee not included.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
It only lasts like an hour and a half.
Yeah, about an hour, yeah. Yeah. Did you fancy it?
Wow. I don't know. It's put me off. £105 to run around for an hour.
Oh. And there's also an extra £12.54 service fee. So the total amount comes to £221.54.
To run around with.
Quite a lot.
With your
Do you reckon if we run around doing the podcast,
It'll be free.
well, you can volunteer as a volunteer, basically, and you can get it free.
That's obscene.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. If we did like, I get why an ultramarathon is about £100 because it takes like 5-6 hours and they've got to have medical crews. But this event.
Yeah, but this is no. Yes and no. Like, I can kind of see why this is £100 because they hire out like a massive. It's like a huge venue. It's at the Kensington Olympia venue, and and they've got all the equipment, obviously, and then you have to have all the staff and all the medical staff, and then all the food for them and all that kind of stuff. So, part of me can understand because, like, if you went to go to a concert, they're about £100 now, aren't they?
True.
And it's on that scale.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but there you go. That's something for us to train towards. No,
Maybe.
maybe.
But you do
All
need. I think you do need something to get yourself back into the.
I agree.
Swing of
That's
things.
it. See, so maybe it'll be that. Who knows? The last one I was quite interested in is: did you listen? You listened to the last podcast episode, right?
I did.
And what did you think of the audio?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think I didn't listen to it compared to other ones, but I think it was fine. Like, it's always great.
Yeah, so we've got good audio because we got a nice microphone. You've got a good microphone. We've got the setup thing going, right? And I do use a phonic, which kind of tweaks it and makes it better, right? But this time, so I had Adam on, and his microphone was crap.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it was straight up like £20 microphone. It was pants, absolutely rubbish. It sounded horrible as a normal episode, but it sounded like perfect, didn't it?
Yeah. Sounded great.
So this is a new piece of like AI tech from Adobe called Adobe Voice Enhancer, and it's still in beta. But in effect, you could upload like a file to it, and it will make it sound incredible. And that was like, I uploaded both of us to it, but him in particular, I uploaded his, and I couldn't believe how good it was.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
there's that like echoey, crappy mic background kind of noise, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. It makes it like, I've even had friends comment saying, oh yeah, the audio quality makes the podcast because nobody's going to listen to, even if famous people have tinny microphones, I just stop listening.
It's just not. It's not good, and I think as well for large scale meetings and stuff, having good audio is just it's really important. And to me, like, I was always, what I was like when at the start of the podcast, I was always like, right, we need to make sure the audio is good because that's the whole point, right? The whole point of this thing is the audio, and that voice enhancer thing was just unreal. I couldn't believe how good it was, especially on Adam's microphone, because it was like a £20 Amazon crappy microphone. It was echoing in the background and whatever else, and his came out studio quality, like absolutely perfect.
Yeah, no, that's great. I wonder when they're going to bring it to, like, I have lots of Teams meetings with Microsoft Teams. Wonder when they're going to bring it to like real time when I talk into my microphone at my laptop.
Oh, so they've already got that.
Oh wow.
So they've already got that. I can tell you, I don't use it myself, but it is called. It does like, it basically in real time removes the like background sound issues.
Wow.
Let me see. It might be called Isotope, maybe. I don't think it is Isotope. That's rubbish. Oh no, it's called Crisp.ai. So Crisp.ai. So during your conversation stuff, it will basically add on, like, build itself into Zoom, I think.
Wow.
And it'll basically make, like, it'll turn down like barking, crying, keyboard clicks, fan sounds, background noise, you name it, and make it amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Top
So worth
tips from Gordon.
considering, yeah. Worth considering potentially.
You should get a new job as a podcast researcher, live on air.
It's quite interesting though, because I do find, like, one of the ways that I try to prospect, I guess, or try and get leads, is to actually interact with people. Because there's loads of people in my sphere that are trying to set up a podcast or edit things better or just generally do creative things better. And I basically just tell them what to do. Because I'll see them doing something, like they're doing a podcast. There's a girl called Holly that is doing her podcast, and it's fantastic to see her doing it. And the hardest part is obviously starting. But then I'm like, oh, check out this voice enhancer thing from Adobe. It's unbelievable. It's totally free. and it'll make your podcast sound incredible. She was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, and that doing that thing where you basically just do something for free.
Yeah.
And maybe she'll buy from me one day.
It goes a
Maybe she
massive
won't,
long
who
way.
knows?
Yeah.
It does. And I like doing that. So I think I like doing that kind of thing, like you say, of, hey, you know, here's a cool thing that you maybe haven't thought of, or whatever else.
Yeah.
But we said that one of our goals this year was to do a podcast course.
It was, and I still think about that, and I'm still keen for it.
Right.
We should need to get a straw man together and schedule some time.
We should put it in our Developing Dad's podcast notes.
Yeah.
Because we maybe try and get it done before we hit 100, because then we can be like, this is how we got to, as beginner podcasters, how we got to 100 episodes.
For that, Gordon, marketing guru.
That's what the big dogs pay me for.
Beginner to 100.
Yeah, beginner to 100 podcasts.
Yeah,
that'd be quite cool. Right. Anyway, I think we should close this off now. We're chatting away. I would actually quite like you to see if you could get a guest on.
Oh God.
Because I quite enjoyed the guest, because it kind of broke it up a little bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I
like talking to you, and like this random dad chat I've really enjoyed, and
that can be a challenge for me.
They're quite fun, but yeah, just getting like guests on the podcast to just talk about dad stuff, because Adam's really nice and he was a good speaker. I mean, don't get any weirdos. I don't think I'm really interested in people who can't talk. Whoever that guy was, you know, the one that was pissing in the corner, Jim, on your stag do, that'd be quite funny if we get him on. Is his name Jim? Pretty sure it was Jim. He can tell us the real story about what happened on the podcast on the stag do.
On that note, thank you for listening to episode number 73 of the Developing Dads podcast. We now have a good run of reels on Instagram, and our follower count's going up slowly, maybe one a week. But yeah, I've kind of committed to doing three reels an episode over the course of the week. So that seems to be going
unbelievable,
well.
Neil.
I know.
Unbelievable, I must say.
Anyway, you can reach us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those good things. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be nice. And until next time, see you later.
All right. Cheers, everyone.